Hi, and welcome to This Week in AI. I'm Heather. I'm founder of the AI Edit, where I help B2B leaders find the customers that need them the most. Every week, I pick the 3 AI stories that matter the most for anyone running or building a business. What happened, what it actually means, and why you should care. So this week we're talking about EY, which has just withdrawn a marketing report that turned out to be full of AI hallucinations, fake citations, and reference to a McKinsey study that didn't exist. Google has announced the biggest overhaul of search in 25 years, putting AI in front of everyone. Do we need that? And thousands of people on X just dismissed a real classic Monet painting as AI slop. What are the implications for any business worried about how its work will be received? So let's get started. I'm going to share the screen. EY, so this was reported in the Financial Times, obviously. EY just withdrew a report after researchers found fake data, invented McKinsey citations, and footnotes leading nowhere. If a big four firm with almost infinite resources can't get AI right, is our assumption or the notion that small businesses must be at a disadvantage, is that wrong? Thoughtful adoption is a choice. The report was called Points of Attack, Uncovering Cyber Threats and Fraud in Loyalty Systems. It was used by EY Canada to market its cybersecurity business. Researchers at GPT-0, however, found that it referenced a McKinsey report that doesn't exist. It contained more than half a dozen footnotes pointing to non-existent web pages, and managed to size the loyalty market at $200 billion, but also the unclaimed loyalty points. The pool of unclaimed loyalty points was also sized at $200 billion, which doesn't make sense. But the report has now been pulled, and EY says apparently that it is reviewing the circumstances. This is not an isolated incident. This is happening quite a lot. Deloitte had to revise a report for a Canadian provincial government last year after fake citations were found. The same patterns, but a different brand on the cover. These firms are making serious money selling their AI services. EY reported AI-related revenue up 30% in a year, with 15,000 staff working on client AI projects. The pitch leans on their reputation, their scale. The implication is that proper AI adoption requires the kind of serious resources and serious background only the Big Four can muster. But the reports they're publishing tell a different story. What you are looking at is potentially enthusiastic adoption, not thoughtful adoption. The brand on the cover is not doing enough to protect the work. So the lesson is that small businesses that really hear thoughtful AI use is not a function of budget. It's a function of how seriously you take the verification step. Read the citations, trace the statistics, question the outputs before publishing them. None of that costs money. All of it is available to a one-person business if that one person is AI fluent. Big firms have the resources to do this properly, but why are they choosing not to? Small businesses can make the opposite choice. It costs nothing. Our next story. The biggest source of misinformation on the internet at the moment is AI, and Google has just made AI the default way you search. At Google I/O, the company's conference this week, Google unveiled the biggest overhaul of search since the search box itself. The 10 blue links are over. The new search drops users into AI-powered conversational answers, dispatches information agents to monitor the web on your behalf, and generates custom widgets, visualizations, and mini apps on the fly. And it's rolling out for free now. Google's framing is that this is what users want. The stat being passed around is that AI overviews already have 2.5 billion monthly users, and AI mode has 1 billion. Both numbers on the face of it dwarf even ChatGPT. But neither number is what it sounds like to me. AI Overviews has 2.5 billion users because Google has foisted them on us. It's put them at the top of every search page results, and we didn't get to opt in. We don't choose between a list of links and an AI summary. We open the Google and the summary is already there, marked as the answer. That is the default. It is not the user making a choice. And now the bit that I find shocking that nobody else seems to be talking about, the technology being installed as the world's primary route to information is the same technology we just saw that confidently invents citations, misquotes studies, and presents fabricated facts in clean prose. AI hallucination rates might have improved, but they have not gone away. And I always say it doesn't matter if it's hallucinating 1% of the time or 50% of the time, because if you never know which answer is hallucinated, you have to check them all anyway. Google's own AI overviews have been caught telling people to eat rocks and put glue on pizza. Those examples are funny. The ones that aren't funny are the medical advice, the legal advice, and the business decisions being made on AI summaries that nobody is checking against the source. So the things to take from this: use AI tools for what they're good at: drafting, summarizing, brainstorming, structuring your thinking. But please don't use them for fact checking or primary resource. You've got to go to the source, especially not the one bolted to the top of Google. And remember that your customers are about to be making decisions on AI summaries about your business, whether your business shows up in those summaries, how accurately it's described. That's the new SEO. AEO, the new SEO, is no longer optional, and you can talk to me about that because it's a key part of your lead gen strategy. Our third story: seeing is no longer believing. Thousands of people on X just tore apart a Claude Monet painting because they thought it was AI generated. The artist, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, it's way too cool for me, posted an image and said he generated it in the style of Monet, asking users to describe in as much detail as possible why the AI image was inferior. The replies came in. The work was called emotionless, slop. Critics dissected the depth, the reflections, the composition. They were certain, they were detailed, but they were also wrong. The image was a real Monet from his Water Lilies collection, painted in around 1950. And I did actually verify this because I'm always telling everybody to verify it. So, two things that make this work worth thinking about. The first is the reflex. The word AI was enough to override the eye. People didn't see the painting, they saw the label, decided the label, and worked backwards to the criticism. The same instinct is being applied to every piece of work your business produces by the customers you are trying to convince. And this is why I talk so much about mindset in my AI fluency course, because we've got to be sharper on this stuff, because this is going to happen more and more. The second is some interesting research underneath it that I also verified. A 2024 study from Norwegian researchers found that in blind tests, people actually preferred AI-generated art. The moment they're told it's AI, though, the preference flips. So the work hasn't changed, but the label has. For any business making decisions about AI in marketing, design, content, or product, this matters. The quality of your AI output isn't the variable that will decide whether it's accepted, but the perception of it is. And right now, perception is being driven by reflex, not evaluation. The internet has reached a point where a real Monet can be dismissed as slop in seconds. Whatever you're putting out into that environment, we need to plan accordingly. So that is it for this week in AI. Three stories that matter for how you run your business. We are taking a break next Friday, but on the 2nd of June, which is just the Tuesday after, I'm running May's Insider Briefing, where I cover all the top AI stories from the month in 30 minutes. You can register at the AI Edit, which I've put the link in the description. And if this was useful, please do share it with another leader who needs to keep their head straight on AI. I will see you on the 2nd of June. Bye. Have a good weekend.